Hi there, my name is Sam, and today I'm going to be showing off my Runic Gishki Spright deck. Until you kind of see how the cards can work together, it's kind of difficult to understand the relationship of the cards and how there is sort of like this built-in synergy with the deck. And so I'm going to show this off now, and the way I'm going to do it is by showing off a couple of different 1 to 2 card combos basically. And I think what I need to do is I need to start off by showing what the Gishki side of the deck can do, because that is going to be the most scrutinized part of this deck is the Gishkis. So truly, I'm just going to start with one card and show you everywhere I can go with a single Gishki Grimness. First of all, you normal summon Gishki Grimness and you use the effect, and then you get to special summon a Gishki from the deck. We're going to go ahead and special summon Gishki Abyss. We're going to use Gishki Abyss effect. Gishki Abyss says, when this card is summoned, you can add one Gishki monster with 1,000 or less defense from your deck to your hand, except Gishki Abyss. So we can use this effect, and we can add a copy of Gishki Shadow, which has 1,000 defense. And Gishki Shadow has the effect that says, if you ritual summon a water monster, this card can be used as the entire tribute. You can discard this card, add one Gishki ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So with this, we can just discard it, and we can add a copy of Gishki Necromir from deck to hand. As this is a 1-card combo, the fact that you are only searching for Necromir here is perfectly acceptable. So basically, as far as this combo goes, this is the entire way that the Gishki side of the deck goes. So now you get to overlay here, and you basically just get to complete a Spright board from here on out. We're going to use this to summon Gigantic Spright, and we're going to use Gigantic's effect, and we're going to detach Abyss in this case. We are free at this point to go for Spright Blue, and we're going to use Spright Blue effect, and we're going to add a copy of Spright Jet from deck to hand. Okay, with Spright Jet, get to special summon it, use the effect, and we get to add a copy of Spright Starter. Now I'm going to link off the Jet and the Blue, and I'm going to summon Spright Sprint, and we'll use the effect of Sprint to send a level 2 monster from deck to graveyard, and we'll send a copy of Nimble Angler. So yeah, Angler goes to graveyard, we use the effect, special summon one Beaver and a second Beaver. Now we get to use Spright Starter, and we'll go for Spright Carrot. And then the thing that I like to pair that with is the Melfi board. So from here, we're going to use the 2 level 2 Beavers, and we're going to use those to go for Melfi of the Forest. We're going to detach one Beaver and send that to the grave, and we'll go for a Melfi Caddy. So what's going to happen is during the end phase, we're going to use Caddy effect, and it's going to special summon itself before we go to the next turn. The way that you have to play it out is that you have the one Gishki card in your hand, and this is Gishki Necromir. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be ensuring that you use your Herald of the Arclight to go for a ritual card when it actually goes to the graveyard. So that is like the most important thing. The way Melfi Caddy works is that you add this card to your hand when a monster on your opponent's side of the field is normal or special summoned, and then you get to add a beast monster from your deck to your hand. So in this case, since you don't have the penny in your hand already, what you do is you add penny, and then Melfi of the Forest triggers, and then you get to negate an opponent's monster's effects, and then they can't attack. And then if they don't have a response to that, then what you're going to eventually do is chain penny to Melfi of the Forest, and then you're going to be able to summon penny, and then you can synchro summon using it and a Melfi in your hand, so you can use Melfi Caddy and penny to go for Herald of the Arclight. And then when Herald of the Arclight eventually goes to the graveyard, you can use Herald of the Arclight's effect in the graveyard to add a ritual monster or a ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So since I already have the Necromir in my hand, I'm going to be going for Neromanus. And on top of the Herald of the Arclight, you also have the Carrot, and you also have the Spright Sprint, and you also have the Malfi of the Forest, which negate an opponent's monster. So that's 4 interactions off of the one Gishki Grimness. What happens next turn is basically you'll just like draw a random card for next turn. Basically during your main phase, you can just go ahead and activate Necromir. You can tribute an opponent's monster. Anyone, it doesn't matter if it's a Link, an XYZ, or a Synchro, or anything like that. Then you just get to summon Neremonis, you pay 3,000 life points, and then you get to summon a water monster from the graveyard. So you get to look in the graveyard, and we already made a point about putting Gishki Abyss into the graveyard every single time. So Gishki Abyss gets to go off here, you get to use the effect, and you get to add another Gishki monster from your deck to your hand. You can add another Gishki Shadow, because that's going to let you get another ritual monster, or another ritual spell rather. So now the combo that I'm about to show you is basically the bread and butter of this deck, and it's the reason why I've been able to be successful, I think, with these Gishki cards, is I've figured out an interaction that I think really works for me. You could do Gishki Abyss with this, but you would also need like another level 2 extender. Basically, Gishki Grimness gives you that extra level 2 body, as well as the Gishki Abyss. And then what you also need in your hand is just any other card in your hand. So in this case, I'm just going to be choosing this Nimble Beaver, because it's just going to be another card that we can just shuffle back into the deck. The way you start this is you normal summon Gishki Abyss, or summon Gishki Grimness, and we use the effect to go for Gishki Abyss. Summon Abyss from the deck. We'll use the effect of Abyss, and we'll add a copy of, in this case, since we have Shadow in our hand, we're going to be looking for the copy of Gishki Vision. So I'm just going to add that now. There's Gishki Vision. So we'll use the effects now. We'll just discard Vision to add a copy of Neremonis, and then we'll use the Shadow discard to add a copy of Gishki Aquamir. Next, we're going to be overlaying Grimness and Abyss to summon Herald of Pure Light. We're going to use Herald of Pure Light to detach Abyss, specifically Abyss, and then we're going to target Gishki Vision in the graveyard. We're going to add that to hand, and then we'll get to shuffle something else back into the deck. So we'll shuffle back the Nimble Beaver, and then we'll discard the Vision again, and we'll get to add another Neremonis. So from here, we just activate Aquamir, and we use the effect of Aquamir to tribute this and summon Neremonis. Now Neremonis effect can activate, and we can special summon a monster from the graveyard. We'll special summon Abyss, use the effect of Abyss again, and this all really takes advantage of the fact that neither Gishki Abyss, Shadow, or Neremonis are once per turn, so this is essentially a small resource engine. As long as you always get Gishki Abyss back into the graveyard, then you're always going to be able to summon Gishki Abyss again, basically, until you run out of Gishki Shadows. So it's really nice in that regard. It takes the best advantage of that interaction. So we use Aquamir in the graveyard, and we'll shuffle itself back into the deck to add the ritual monster back into the hand. Next, we'll just discard Shadow, and we'll add the Aquamir back to the hand. Next, we'll send these two to the graveyard for a link summon of Spright Sprint. We'll use Spright Sprint effect. We'll send Nimble Angler. I'll use Angler effect, and I get to special summon 2 beavers, one of which we already put back into the deck. So if you were finding that you had too many of a specific card in your hand or something, the Herald of Pure Light can help you fix your hand. So now I get to activate Aquamir again, tributing Neremonis on the field to summon Neremonis from my hand. We'll use Neremonis effect, and we'll summon Gishki Abyss once again from the graveyard. We'll use the effect of Abyss again, and we'll add a copy of Gishki Shadow. At this point, we can consistently go for Bujinki Ahashima, as long as we get to this point of the combo. And we can now use Ahashima effect to special summon Gishki Shadow from the hand, and also one from the graveyard. and we'll use those to go for a XYZ summon. And we'll go for a Bahamut Shark. And we'll use Bahamut Shark effect to detach. And now we get to special summon a Water XYZ from the deck, extra deck, and we get to special summon Totally Awesome. Next, we'll overlay Gishki and Spright Elf, because at this point we've done as much as we can without the Sprite engine, and we've just given ourselves access to the Sprite engine by having 2 Link 2s on the field. So we use Spright Elf, and we get to detach whatever we want. I'll just detach this Gishki Shadow because I find it funny. In this case, we're going to go for Spright Blue, and we're going to use Spright Blue effect, and we're going to add a copy of Spright Carrot from deck to hand. We're going to link away the Bahamut and the Gigantic to go for IP Masquerena. We can special summon the Carrot at this point. We can overlay these 2 level 2 monsters to summon Melfi of the Forest, and then we'll use Melfi of the Forest, detaching the Nimble Beaver in this case, so that we can add Melfi Caddy from deck to hand. And then we can go ahead and use Aquamirror in the graveyard to shuffle it back into the deck, and then add the Ritual Monster back to hand. So now we'll just shuffle the deck. And then basically you just go to end phase, and then you get to special summon Melfi Caddy. So this is a 7 interaction board off of 2 cards. I basically show that having one of these cards, the Gishki Grimness, in your hand lets you go for 4 interactions, and then having the Gishki Shadow as well lets you go for 7 interactions. And then that Gishki Shadow can be a Gishki Aquamirror, or it can be whatever. Okay, so what I find particularly special about this end board is the fact that most of the cards on it add you a card from either the graveyard or the deck, or the field itself to the hand. So when Naramonis negates a monster effect and then shovels it into the deck, it can add itself from the field to the hand. The Totally Awesome, when it negates a card, it can add a card from the graveyard to the hand, so you can add Gishki Shadow. And then when you add Caddy to hand, and then do Penny, and then summon Penny to go for Herald of the Arclight, you get to add another card, because Herald of the Arclight, when it gets into the graveyard, you get to add a ritual spell or a ritual monster, so you just get to add like another card like Gishki Necromir. And then by the time that you've added another card to your hand for your next turn, you have added 4 new cards from your deck to your hand, and it's and so yeah, you've gotten yourself quite a little bit of follow-up at that point to just go for more plays next turn, because you've just gotten more cards. I think it works out really, really well. I think it's a very, very nice payoff for the investment. Okay, for this last combo, the parts that I already showed you are going to be there. But then as well, I'm going to have a extension with the Runic side of the deck, providing just another level 2 body. We're going to activate the Runic Dispelling, or any Runic spell, and we're going to special summon the Hugin. So basically this can activate during the draw phase, and then you can just use it, and then you can potentially bait like an Ash or something, and then that'll help you later on during the combo. During your main phase, you could just normal summon Gishki Grimness, use the effect, and you get to special summon Gishki Abyss from the deck. We use Gishki Abyss effect to add Gishki Vision. We'll discard Gishki Vision, in this case, to add Ivagishki Naramonis, and then we'll discard Shadow to add a Gishki Aquamirror. Next, we'll overlay the Abyss and the Hugin, leaving the Grimness on the field. That's important. To summon Herald of Purelight, we'll use Herald of Purelight, detaching Abyss specifically, to target the Gishki Vision in the graveyard, add it back to hand, and then shuffle something else back into the deck. We'll discard the Gishki Vision. Once again, Ivagishki Naramonis. Next, we'll use Aquamirror, tributing Naramonis to summon Naramonis. We'll use Naramonis effect on field to special summon Gishki Abyss from the graveyard. We'll use Abyss effect to add a Gishki Shadow from deck to hand. We'll link away to summon Spright Sprint. We'll use the effect of Sprint to send Nimble Angler to the graveyard, and then Nimble Angler can special summon 1, 2 Nimble Beavers. Next, we'll use Aquamirror in the graveyard to target Gishki Neremanis, add it to the hand, and shuffle this back into the deck as a cost. Next, we'll discard Gishki Shadow to add the Gishki Aquamirror that we just added back into the deck. Now I will activate Aquamirror, and I'm going to tribute Gishki Grimness using the fact that this is the entire ritual requirement to summon Neremanis. Now, Neremanis effect can activate once again to summon Gishki Abyss, and then Gishki Abyss can now activate once more to add a copy of Gishki Shadow. And now we can overlay the 2 Neremanises on the field to make the rank 10 Varudras, the final bringer of the end times, which is an Omni Negate. And then we can link away the Abyss and the Beaver for a Bujinki Ahashima. We can use Ahashima effect now to special summon Shadow, and also special summon another copy of the Gishki Shadow. We'll overlay those two to make Bahamut Shark. And then Bahamut Shark can detach to special summon a Toad. And now with our 2 Link 2s, we can overlay and we can make Gigantic Spright. We'll use Gigantic Spright effect, detaching Spright Sprint, and we can special summon a copy of Spright Blue. We'll use Spright Blue effect to add Spright Carrot, and it's the same moves as the other combo at this point. And we just link away those 2 for IP Masquerena, overlay these 2, overlay these 2 to make Melfi of the Forest, detach this card, get to add a copy of Melfi Caddy, and the Spright Carrot can now special summon itself, and during the end phase you can special summon Caddy. So this is actually an 8 interaction board with the Varudras, because what this is like Herald of the Arclight, which is 1. IP Masquerena turns into SP Little Knight, which is like 2 interactions, so that's 3 already. Melfi of the Forest is 4 because of the monster negation and the ability to make it so that it can't attack. Spright Carrot is 5 because of the spell and trap card negate. Toad is 6, and then this is actually 7 with the Omni negate, and then this can also pop another card on the field when it does do the Omni negation. So that's basically 8 interactions just on board, and that's just having 1 Runic, 1 Gishki Grimness, and another Gishki Extender. This is actually like the most powerful end board that I can make in this deck, and so yeah, I think it's a pretty damn good board, and I've been really happy with it. And yeah, so those are the Gishki combos. I just wanted to show off those, and for now I think I can kind of go into the Spright stuff a little bit later and how the Runic stuff all interacts as well, but for now I'll just end the video here. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and if you like this video, just drop a like. It really shows me that you enjoyed the content, and it also helps the algorithm kind of keep these sort of videos in your feed if you want to see them. So if you do like it, like the video, and yeah, thanks very much, and I will show off more combo videos another time, and I'll also do a deck profile if people are interested. Anyways, thanks very much. See ya.